Well, hey guys, good morning. It is Brent Abel here, webtennis.com. Hope you're having a spectacular day so far wherever you are. I'm out here, Southern California. Kind of weird to say that. Used to always say Northern California. Maya and I sold our home there this last summer. I think we closed escrow in August of the 2020. Anyway, here in Southern California, desert. Rancho Mirage, the Mission Hills Country Club, and we've got a rainy, soggy day so far, right? We need the rain. It's all good. Looking forward to getting on the stationary bike this morning, get another good exercise, another good workout as I did yesterday, and then maybe just later this afternoon getting out on the court. Weatherman saying it should stop raining, but getting out there with the bag of balls, hitting a few serves, doing a little bit of running, some sprints, those kinds of things, working on the core a little bit, and looking forward to that. So guys, look, I hope you're doing well. January 2021, the 31-day reboot. We've got 7 days left. We finish up this coming Sunday, right? And so I'm curious on a couple of things. Number one is, let me go actually and bring up my the thing that I want to show you. Where are you? There we go. Thank you. So let's go back to the very top. And, you know, on January 1st, I threw this out to you. What would be the number one thing in health that you want to change in or improve upon? So what would be that thing that you could eliminate for the next 31 days? And I, came up with a list of, at the time, 9 things. We added number 10 recently, which was the toxicity of social media. Be careful what you watch. Be careful who you listen to. And if you have not seen the documentary that was produced last year, 2020, The Social Dilemma, I highly recommend it. It's pretty interesting. But look, guys, so for me and we decided we would do the classic dry January, no alcohol. And so here we go. We have another week. We've, been off the sauce for 3+ weeks. All's good. But maybe you chose something else, right? And could be sugar, could be meat, could be dairy, caffeine, processed foods, wheat, bread, etc. Second helpings, right? And so today what I really want to talk about is, and this message won't be for everybody, but it could be for those of you, well, it is for those of you who want to lose some weight, right? And you want to lose some weight because it's been chronic, right? Like if you're a tennis player and you for years have been carrying around an extra 12, 15, 20 pounds, and maybe the joints are not really digging it, right? The knees, the hips, the ankles, the feet, plantar fasciitis we talked about recently. Could be a whole bunch of different types of aches and pains simply caused by your skeletal system not wanting to have those extra pounds. And you've been doing it for years. And maybe what you've been trying off and on is different diets, right? Or different something. And I'm really curious, and you don't have to post this in the comments if you don't want. You can if you want, but I'd like to know what you've tried so far that has in the long term not worked for you. You can post that in the comments, or if you want to keep it private, just go ahead and direct message me over at Facebook, or you can shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. Let me throw that email address in there. Because I'm just curious what folks try that just doesn't work in the long term. And I think we all would agree that there's been so much talk about diet and going on certain diets that they don't work for a lot of reasons. I think you get some initial results from time to time, but the long-term thing, we end up kind of going back and putting that weight back on. And really what I want to help you guys with is, if you've been chronic with sort of that yo-yo thing of putting on weight and then going on a diet and dropping it and then going back up and all that thing, or maybe you've put on some weight last year, 2020, because of COVID, or maybe it's the holidays are still lingering. Whatever that is, I'd love to know what you've tried so far that just hasn't worked. And maybe I can give you a suggestion or two as to how to make it a lot more permanent. And look, that's the whole thing with what we started with on day one. Is what's one thing that you can eliminate for the next 31 days? I'm not talking about you got to go ahead and go on this diet that says you got to drop alcohol, you can't have any more sugar, you got to go plant-based, no dairy, no caffeine, no all that stuff. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that what's one thing? If you want to lose some weight, what's one thing that you could drop for 31 days? And if you started with me on January 1st, I'm curious if that's your goal, is to shed X number of pounds. What's the one thing that you've dropped so far for the last 3 weeks? And what I advised you on at that time was, don't think of this as a lifetime commitment, because there's too many reasons why we have a bad morning or a bad afternoon or a bad day when we think I've got to do this for the rest of my life. Well, if you go with let's just do it for 1 month, then 1 month, anyone can do practically anything for 30 days, for 31 days, right? So keep it short term. But once you get to February 1st, if you've dropped that one thing for 31 days, could you tell yourself, or could you evaluate and go, you know what, I feel better. I've actually dropped a few pounds. Let's do it for another month rather than doing, well, this is the ticket. Let's do it for the rest of our life, right? Or the rest of your life. And I think at some point, once you start feeling better, once you start having some tangible results of shedding some pounds, is that you don't want to go back, and you start to build habits. And the book that I highly recommended on day 2 was James Clear's Atomic Habits. And look, if you've not picked up this book, I absolutely highly recommend, totally, you got to get this book, because specifically if you're trying to lose weight, you got to get the book. You got to get the book, because this whole thing is turning this 31-day reboot eventually into a lifestyle. It becomes that you've built good habits over 31 days. Maybe it takes longer. Maybe it takes 2 months. Maybe it takes 90 days. What does it matter how many days it takes to where it eventually becomes your lifestyle? And so that's kind of the message for today is, I'd love to know, what have you tried so far in terms of, if you're that person, and if you're not the person who doesn't need to lose weight, good on you, mate. But if you are, I'd love to know, what have you tried that has not worked so far? And you can, where are we here? We are back. You can go ahead, and if you want to leave a comment or a question or something like that in the comment section, public, that's fine. If not, if you want to keep it private, and of course I promise not to make it public, is just go ahead and direct message me over at Facebook, or you can shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. And I'd love to know, what has not worked so far in terms of you being able to either drop weight, get fired up to get started, or maybe you've dropped some pounds, but you keep putting them back on, and you just can't find that. You can't find kind of the magic to be able to keep it off, and without white knuckling every day of your life, right? So I'd love to know what's going on. Guys, hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Get out there today, move, right? I was talking to my 3 kids, my 3 daughters and I had a Sunday afternoon Zoom session. We kind of caught up yesterday. They're up in Northern California, and I was telling them what I'm doing with the January 2021 reboot. And one of them just said, well, have you asked them to make sure they're getting outside every day? And I said, really? There are people, you think, who don't get outside every day? And she goes, absolutely. And so that got me thinking that maybe you are getting outside every day, but maybe you know someone who's not. And my thought was, and I kind of hesitate to kind of throw this out there, because I know that we're all trying to be safe and social distance, but maybe you know someone that's just been kind of hanging inside for a few days or longer. Why not invite them to get outside and take a walk somewhere, right? That means you got to walk on the opposite side of the street or the sidewalk, or you got to walk in front or behind by, 10 feet. I don't know, whatever it is, mask up. But if you're not doing it, get outside every day, right? And I'm not talking about walking is a form of exercise, right? But help someone else. Help someone else get outside every day and make sure that we're not just totally taking the shelter in place to the point where we never open the front door. So, guys, anyway, hope you're doing well, right? Beautiful. No, gonna be a nice day here in the desert eventually. With that said, guys, yeah, get out there, help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, I will see you again tomorrow.